Hello there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. I hope you're having a great day. So I thought I'd conclude the Purple Lights videos with a synopsis and a theory that I think ties it all together. And hopefully you'll enjoy this. It's going to be just a few minutes as I'm on my commute to work. So, the purple lights phenomenon, as I come to understand it, is due to an alternate timeline that blended into our timeline. So what we had is in the VEX was luciferance. Luciferance gave off, it was a bioluminescent marker that sounded really evil. Luciferance. Anyway, so that was in the you know what, and when that was in it, ended up working with some, I believe, some type of black light, and when that happened, they were able to tell who got the shot and who didn't. So when they determined who got it and who didn't, what they were doing is they were giving access to highways and on-ramps for people to go, and they would shine these lights, and if you didn't basically glow in that moment, then you weren't allowed to travel. So that was a restriction, lockdown. And again, this is an alternate, as my hypothesis is, this was an alternate timeline. And this led to a big conflict, and a lot of people got hurt and died. So when this kind of a thing happened, that alternate timeline got disappeared, got cut off, and the remainder of it, the remnants, blended into our timeline, hence the purple lights. So I believe that's what's going on. So a lot of people are not understanding. So when you have, as I understand it, there is a timeline, and you have you got to do the switcheroo, you got to change, you got to blend or something, right? That happens with, basically, people are dying. Now, not all the time. So I don't like for people to think like God's not involved. So God's involved, angels are involved, everybody's involved. And if there's some kind of an outcome, I believe that's really, really a negative outcome, that it's just going to be like a horror-filled show until everybody has to, do what they got to do here on Earth. Things are moving around. Now, does that mean it's like a simulation or something like that? No, doesn't mean that at all. Does that mean that you could have died and your consciousness basically moved to this timeline from a different type of a timeline in a rudimentary sense? Yeah, that could have happened. And that is just timeline switching 101 on how this can happen. Now, I don't like the whole idea of the timeline from the beginning, and I think it's a rudimentary way for me to describe what I think happens. So what I will give you an idea of is how I kind of put it all together is determinism. So determinism is what really is what's going on. So what that means is everything has a history. Every particle in the universe has it's coming from somewhere and it's going from somewhere. So we have a deterministic universe. So that means that in from a three-dimensional perspective, when you have something from a higher dimensional perspective that interfaces into a three-dimensional perspective, then all of a sudden we're going to see a history of it, and it's going to be involved in our reality, and you're going to say, oh, that came from here, oh, that went to there. So all of a sudden we have alternate what it seems to be an alternate history or alternate realities are taking place. But that is just from our deterministic 3D perspective, is how it seems to transpire. So when we're looking at all the different things that happen in our reality, we say, this manifested and this alternate thing happened, but in reality it's all one. From a higher dimensional point of view, it's all one thing. So why is that happening? That is a whole other video, and I'm just giving you a brief synopsis on state of affairs on the purple lights and why I believe that there's purple lights on all the highways. Now, that has nothing to do with a lot of other things, but the purple lights that were on the highways are because, as I said, that there was going to be a huge, I believe, civil war in the U.S. and all over, that this was going to be introduced, and Luciferance was in the Vexes, and that kind of whole thing disappeared, and it's not in the Vex anymore because of that whole thing. So that was changed and removed, and it's not like some people think, oh, we're in a simulation, oh, we're in a video game, oh, that I would not say. I think that it's important for us all to make the correct decisions, so our reality's not getting these whiplash situations, and I think that in the final analysis, we are not, as a species right now, going to die, but that doesn't mean that that's not possible. It just means that there's we have something to accomplish. And again, I don't think that everybody should just give up responsibility for their own actions and what they're doing. I think it's doubly important to be cognizant of all the actions you do. Some people think that if I went back in time, the butterfly effect, and did one thing, would that, that could change the future. Well, what about changing the future now? What about your small actions? Think about what you're doing and make the right decisions. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.